everybody. Welcome to Shakespeare Tuesday. I don't know. I'm just gonna go with it. Apparently, my brain is not able to remember to do this on Mondays, so I'm just gonna switch it to Tuesdays. I'm sorry. I'm tired of apologizing every week, and apparently, my brain wants to do this on Tuesday. So, this is now Shakespeare Tuesdays. But welcome to Shakespeare Day. When we left it, Banquo's ghost. Banquo's been murdered. Banquo's ghost interrupts the banquet, Macbeth's banquet, with all of his friends and lackeys, and no one can see the ghost except Macbeth. So Macbeth now appears psychotic to both his wife and to all of the people in his court, or all of the important people in his court. And so now in response to this, he's like, I'm going to go see the witches and find out what the hell's going on. And I don't care what the ramifications are. I'm going to find out what's up, come hell or high water. So now we skip to the witches and Hecat. And in this play, Hecat is like a uber demon. It's not quite the devil, but it is definitely a more powerful demonic force than the witches. It's the witch's boss, basically. And it's unfortunate because in the pagan religion, Hecat is actually a very positive character, a person, an entity, a really good thing. And unfortunately, the Christians of Shakespeare's time had co-opted the name and made it into a demonic force. So I hope I'm not offending anyone by referring to Hecat as evil, but it's just that I'm trying to understand the play as written. And in the play, Hecat is like an uber demon. So just going to run with that. So it's a pretty short scene, and Hecat is just talking to the witches, saying, why haven't you cut me in on this deal before? You're running a pretty good game here, but you haven't told me about it. And now I'm going to help you. And we're going to use our magic to, how does she say it? Draw him on to his confusion. He shall spurn fate, scorn death, and bear his hopes above wisdom, grace, and fear. And you all know security is mortal's chiefest enemy. Really wonderful little bit right there. So they're gonna mess with him, and he is gonna, at the end of this, he's gonna care more about his hopes than any wisdom that he has, any wisdom or grace or fear is going to be overridden by his hopes, and his need for security will be his undoing, as Hecat says, is the undoing of so many mortals. And I think that that's true. I think anytime that I put my security above everything else, I usually come to ruin. I think that's true of societies. I think it's true of people. And I'm really glad that Shakespeare put that in there. The only thing I'll say about this short scene is that I've seen productions where they try to make Hecat really scary. They really try to make Hecat a big demon. And all they end up doing is making a big puppet. And they put Hecat's voice through, a bunch of synthesizers to make it sound demonic, and I know they're trying to make it lift, but there's a limitation on stage. It's not movies. So we don't have computer special effects on stage. And I think the best thing to do with this scene is just have a really good actor or actress in a black hood and say the words with enough gravity that it's, the devil has come to town. Things are getting serious. It just needs to, the audience just has to go, ooh, it's just gotten more serious now. And putting all the bells and whistles just really can make it laughable, or worse yet, it can make the scene unintelligible. It's a pretty simple scene. It's just introducing the character of Hecat. In the movie, of course, I think it would be amazing to have a bunch of special effects and have Hecat be, wisps of smoke and all sorts of scary imagery can be going on. And I think it should in a film, but not on stage. That's what I think stage sometimes tries to compete with film by giving spectacle, and stage is just not very good at giving spectacle. Stage is really good about hanging words in the air to a dramatic effect. And I think that the stage shouldn't try to compete with film. It's two different ways of communicating. That's my opinion, but it also is because I've seen it fail and I've seen it work. Then the next scene, I'm already at 5 minutes. The next scene is Lennox and lords, and they're basically the thanes, some of the thanes of Scotland, confabbing. I have played Lennox, and this is a very interesting speech that starts the scene. Usually in Shakespeare, what is said is everything that the character is thinking. There's not in modern, like in film, there's what I'm saying, and then there's what I'm really thinking, or what I'm really trying, the subtext, we call it. And most of what a character is thinking is not said. It's inferred. But in Shakespeare, everything that the character is thinking is expressed through language. It's all right there. And it's fairly straightforward most of the time. But in this speech, it's all switched. It's all twisted. Lennox is basically saying, I think that Macbeth is guilty of the murder, but he's not saying it directly. On the surface, it sounds like he's saying to everybody that Macbeth didn't kill the king, and Macbeth is innocent, and we can all see that it was other people that did it all. But that's not what he's saying at all. It's a very interesting speech, so I'll read it for you. My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret further. Only, I say, things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth. Marry, he was dead. And the right valiant Banquo walked too late, whom you may say, if it please you, Fleance killed, for Fleance fled. Men must not walk too late. Who cannot want the thought how monstrous it was for Malcolm and for Donalbain to kill their gracious father? Damned fact! How it did grieve Macbeth! Did he not straight, in pious rage, the two delinquents tear that were the slaves of drink and the thralls of sleep? Was not that nobly done? Aye, and wisely too. For 'twould have angered any heart alive to hear the men deny it. So that I say, he has borne all things well. And I do think that had he Duncan's sons under his key, as, and it please heaven, he shall not, they should find it. They should find what 'twere to kill a father, so should Fleance. But peace, for from broad words, and 'cause he failed his presence at the tyrant's feast, I hear Macduff lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell me where he bestows himself? So, he's really saying, man, like, if Duncan's sons, Donalbain and oh God, so many people here. If Duncan's sons had not run away and Macbeth had them under his key in prison, they'd be dead, just like their father. And so the talk turns to Macduff, who is a big, strapping warrior who we've met before, just in one scene. He is a very powerful warrior. And they're like, where's Macduff? And they say, well, he's gone to England to meet with Duncan's sons, who are meeting with the king to try to raise an army to take back the throne. God, we hope they succeed. We need help. We need the English army to aid Malcolm and Donalbain and Macduff. And we hope they ride in here with tens of thousands of English soldiers, because we've lost control of our country. It's so bad in Scotland They are hoping for an English invasion. Like, if you know anything about Scotland, like that's the last thing you would expect a Scots person to want to happen. The last thing. But their government has become so corrupt, they're hoping for the English force to come and invade them. That's how bad it is. Okay, guys. That's all I've got for this week. Thanks for your patience, and thanks for letting me read a little Shakespeare to you. Bye-bye.